The Odd Abduction of Percy Jackson by the German Grim Reaper. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved, we investigate the 2-week disappearance of Percy Jackson and the odd occurrences surrounding it. Buzzfeed Unsolved. True Crimes. The Odd Abduction of Percy Jackson. This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved, we will be discussing a particularly bizarre case. In 2010, a young boy named Percy Jackson, full name Perseus, went missing. After a series of sightings across the country, he was found 2 weeks later. Dead? No, he wasn't dead. Then there's no mystery about it. Kid gets kidnapped, police find him, case closed. Well, if you'd let me finish, I was just getting to that. All right, proceed. Percy Jackson had a history of behavioral problems, including, but not limited to, firing a cannon at his school bus on a field trip. He'd been expelled from multiple public schools by the time he was 12 years old, which is when the abduction took place. A cannon? That 12-year-old knows how to fire a cannon? Actually, why was he near a loaded cannon in the first place? I don't know, but it happened. There was even a news report about it, although they didn't say the kid's name. Anyway, that's the least of his issues. How is blowing up a school bus not the highlight of this kid's life? That's already pretty crazy. We've barely even started. How can it get crazier than that? In the spring of 2010, Percy was asked not to return to his school for the next year. This followed an incident on a school trip in which he pushed another classmate into a fountain, then claimed to have been attacked by one of his teachers. And they didn't investigate the teacher? Wait, when you say attacked... No, I mean literally attacked. You'll understand why in a minute. He apparently told several classmates that his math teacher, Mrs. Dodds, had accused him of stealing something and threatened to kill him if he didn't give it back. She then proceeded to turn into some sort of winged monster and attack him with her claws, at which point the other teacher, Mr. Brunner, gave him a pen that turned into a sword. Percy killed Miss Dodds with the sword, she exploded into dust, and then he made the report. I'm sorry, what? Either he's making this up or needs to be checked into a mental hospital. It's crazy, but just wait till you hear the rest. And remember that he's still alive, so maybe try not to insult him too much. Wait, do we have permission to talk about this? He's a legal adult and didn't tell us not to, so yeah. All right, I guess. Carry on. Mr. Brunner denied any sort of allegation, and there was no sword present at the museum, other than the ones on display, which were locked in glass cases. So the school chose not to investigate the matter further. Even more curious, however, is in regards to the alleged attacker herself. There is no record of Miss Dodds having ever attended at Yancey Academy. Wait, so he made up an entire teacher to go along with this story? Yeah, that's possible. We'll get into alternative theories at the end. That was only the start of trouble for Percy Jackson, however. Shortly after the school year ended, Percy left with his mother to spend the weekend in a cabin in Montauk. DNA evidence shows that they arrived at the cabin, but the following night their car was found in a ditch many miles away. It appeared to have been struck by lightning. Oh wow, he must have been having a bad week. It had been a couple of months since the museum attack, but yeah. Lightning though? That's gotta be the worst luck in the world. There were no bodies inside of the car, but the officers on the scene did find traces of blood from 3 individuals. DNA matched the traces found in the car, but it is unknown who the 3rd individual was with Percy Jackson and his mother. There were also traces of goat hair in the back seat. Goat hair? Yeah. Huh. Did they live on a farm or something? No, they had an apartment in the middle of the city. No pets. That's just bizarre. Tell me about it, man. At the time of their disappearance, Percy's stepfather, a man named Gabriel Untalago, indicated that Percy himself might have kidnapped his mother and run off, citing his behavioral issues in the past.
Shit, man. The kid's 12.
Yeah.
His stepfather is a dick.
Pretty much. Several of that's Percy's mother, by the way, several of her friends seemed to believe that he was abusive as well. They didn't make these claims until several weeks after, though.
Are you sure he didn't do it?
Yeah, pretty sure. Approximately 1 week later, Percy Jackson was sighted many miles from where the crash took place. This time, his mother was not with him. He was in the presence of 2 other children, a blonde girl and a boy with the Rasta cap, both of whom seemed to be about 12. According to eyewitness reports, the 3 of them accosted several elderly women on a bus. Percy then proceeded to attack the driver, jerking the wheel and causing the bus to crash. He and the other 2 children ran off into the woods after blowing up the bus and were not heard from for several days.
They blew up the bus? Not just crashed it, blew it up?
Yeah, it seems like the crash damaged the engine or something and caused an explosion.
That's the 2nd time he's been in a car crash in the story. First lightning, then an explosion. What's this kid gonna do next?
Oh, it gets weirder. 2 days later, the 3 of them were spotted in St. Louis.
Oh, don't tell me.
I told you it got weirder.
They were there when the arch blew up. That was all over the news for weeks.
Actually, at the time it was speculated that they were behind the explosion themselves.
No way. A car crash I can buy, but no 12-year-old can sneak a bomb into a national monument.
Well, they don't think that anymore.
I can't believe they ever did.
There was an explosion at the top of the arch. Apparently, Percy was inside, along with a handful of other people and one seeing eye dog. It's unclear what exactly happened, but he was no longer in the arch when emergency services arrived to help the people trapped there. It was as if he vanished into thin air.
He probably took the stairs. There are stairs, right?
Yeah, but there's no way he got all the way down them without running into somebody. Police were everywhere. The following day, Percy and his 2 friends were spotted at dinner with an older man. The man was described as terrifying and pure evil. According to the waitress who reported the incident, he drove a motorcycle and paid for his meal in solid gold.
Wait, what?
He was also, supposedly, cleaning under his fingernails with a large knife while the waitress took their orders. He appeared to threaten the children in the parking lot as they left, at which point the waitress called the police.
Well, good. Who the fuck cleans under their fingernails with a knife?
That's the part you have a problem with, not the fact that he kidnapped and threatened 3 children.
We talk about kidnappers on here all the time. Excuse me for focusing on the weird part.
All of it is the weird part.
Touché.
They vanished again for 6 days, only to resurface on a beach in Los Angeles. Although it's unclear what exactly happened, the official police report states that Percy got a hold of a gun from his kidnapper, and they fought on the beach. Somehow, this resulted in several police cars being set on fire. Percy and his friends got away, but the kidnapper was never apprehended.
More vehicular destruction? No way.
Hey, I'm just saying what happened. This is all in the police reports. After giving their statements to police, Percy and his friends crowdfunded plane tickets back to New York and left immediately. No one accompanied them to the airport. Even stranger, however, is the fact that in all of the police reports, nothing is known about his 2 friends. They seem to have never even given their names.
And the police just let this happen. 2 underage kidnapping victims and they didn't even call their parents?
I don't get it either. The police really fumbled this one.
You can say that again.
Percy arrived safely back in his apartment at the same day as his mother. It is unknown where she came from, as she hadn't been with them in California, but she appeared to be unharmed.
What?
Like I said, the police really screwed up on this one.
But where did she come from? How did she get free? That makes no sense.
Hence why it's unsolved, Shane. But that's not the end. Only a few weeks after their return, while Percy was at a summer camp, Gabe Ungolo went missing.
That's his stepfather, right?
Yeah. At the same time, Percy's mother, Sally Jackson, sold her first piece of sculpture, a life-size, photorealistic statue of her husband playing poker. He was never heard from again.
I know, right? Good riddance. We probably shouldn't be laughing at this. He was an abusive dickbag anyway.
Allegedly.
He accused a 12-year-old of kidnapping his own mother.
Yeah, that was a pretty shitty move.
Understatement of the year.
Strange things continued to happen around Percy Jackson, even after that summer. The next year, he was expelled from yet another school after an incident in dodgeball, which resulted in the gym being set on fire. 6 months after that, he was seen on security cameras at the Hoover Dam, where he was being chased by several security guards, although there was no report of such event occurring from anyone who worked there. He seems to have gone missing in 2014, although his mother refused to file a missing persons report and insisted that he was fine. He was spotted several months later in Rome, right before a sinkhole appeared up. There are no reported sightings of him after that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the?
Pretty much. You see now why I said this was a weird one?
This kid seriously has the worst luck.
Ready to get into theories?
Sure, have at it.
The first theory is that the official story is correct. The kids were taken by the, as of yet unnamed, kidnapper, attempted to escape from him several times, and eventually succeeded in escaping in LA. The rest of it, his stories of being attacked by a teacher, the incident at the Hoover Dam, and his mysterious absence in 2014, are all coincidences.
No way. I hate to say it, but no way.
My thoughts exactly. There's too much left unexplained by that theory, so not a lot of people believe in it. The theory has several holes. Who was the kidnapper? What did he do with Sally Jackson while he was taking the kids across the country? What happened to their stepfather? For these reasons, it is considered the least likely out of our theories. The second theory is more commonly accepted. This theory claims that the children, their kidnapper, and possibly even Percy's mother are all members of a cult. This would explain why Percy talked about monsters, why his mother was returned unharmed, and even why she refused to report him missing in 2014.
A cult could explain what happened to his stepfather, too.
You think the cult off them?
I mean, it makes sense.
I guess, but what about all the weird stuff? The goat hair, the lightning strike, the sinkhole? A cult can't cause a sinkhole, Shane.
Maybe the goat hair was from sort of ritual. I don't know. The sinkhole could just be a coincidence.
Maybe. Our third theory, and the one I personally believe in, is that it was caused by supernatural forces. Perhaps Percy was truly attacked by a monster in that museum, and the same monster could have caused the lightning strike to their car. If the kidnapper was either working with or was possessed by ghosts and/or demons, it would explain why the waitress described him as pure evil. And Gabe Ungolo's disappearance, coupled with the sudden appearance of the statue, could indicate that he was perhaps turned into the statue.
Oh God.
Hey, it's a valid theory.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying, there's too much wrong with the case for there not to be something spooky involved.
So you think this kid is, what, some spook magnet? That's a bit far-fetched, even for you.
Well, how else do you explain the lightning?
Contrary to popular belief, Ryan, lightning does occur naturally.
Whether it was a rogue kidnapper, an induction into a cult, or a supernatural entity at work, we can all agree that whatever happened in the summer of 2010 wasn't normal. Percy Jackson is still alive today, but we were unable to contact him with our questions. Perhaps one day he will explain what really happened, but until then, this case will remain unsolved. I don't do, Percy Jackson fics too often because I don't read that many. I am like fully absorbed into the My Hero fandom with fan fiction. But anyway, I read this one and I loved it. I've never actually like watched Buzzfeed Unsolved except like maybe 10 years ago. How old am I? No, it was probably more like 8 years ago. But I loved this. It was so good. I didn't attempt to do their voices because, again, probably 8 years ago. But there are a couple more in this series, so I will be doing those. Just like not back to back, because again, my channel is mostly My Hero Academia, but I do like to throw in some other, this little spice it up with some other things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed because I definitely did. This was such a unique fic and I loved it. So bye.